Welcome back to Wax Packs and Warning Tracks here on Mojobreak Media. If you're listening to us on the podcast, thanks for subscribing. If you're listening to us also, make sure to subscribe over to YouTube. You can watch this podcast every Friday. It's Cody, it's Bubba. It's almost All-Star break, which also means it's almost draft time.
Let's go.
Here in Major League Baseball. Before, I got to ask Bubba, before they started putting the draft on All-Star Weekend, give me your, on a scale of 1 to 10, the engagement interest in MLB Draft, pre-All-Star festivities draft.
Yeah, I always watched, and I loved the drafts every year. I feel like I liked it when it was separate.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I liked it when it was separate. It was in June.
It was in the middle of the College World Series.
It was middle of College World Series. Maybe timing wasn't perfect, but
yeah.
I liked that it was just the draft.
Yeah.
And I'd like that it was just the draft. Now, are more people engaged now because it is during the weekend? Sure. But it was fun for me to look forward to the draft and stuff. I don't know. I'm just being nitpicky. I'm old school.
Yeah, I think there's something to it standing on its own. I like in the early days of MLB Network, it was cool that they made it a thing for the first time ever. I think the best thing they've done, and it's just the timing of the All-Star game, I think it is good overall for the game, but more so having it not be in the middle of the College World Series. I think there was maybe the idea was these guys get drafted and then you immediately watch some of these guys, but I like the idea of I think I know these guys better post College World Series where you get to see them, you get to hear these names that maybe you haven't heard before, or get to see a closer look at guys you've kind of been seeing, rather than in the middle of the draft being who's this guy? Okay, I gotta know. Oh, he's pitching tomorrow. Okay,
right.
It felt almost like a little. I don't know. I kind of like that part of it. I think that's something where they've done a good job of.
I agree.
Figuring out that schedule.
Yep, and we've seen a direct result of how that's impacted players just over the course of weeks between the draft being in June and then July.
Right.
Just recently. So
having a combine now, it feels like a proper draft lead up now, whereas in the years past it was, and I get it too. It's because baseball is so high school heavy when it comes to the draft as well, that those players, when you're having it at the beginning of June, those guys usually have been well done with baseball or just finishing up baseball. So it's a different calendar than it is for college. So we're going to get into all of the players that define this year's draft that are some of the biggest names. And, of course, how the hobby is going to react to these guys, the class in general. Just a few kind of pros and cons as we'll just dive into it of this year's class. Number one, right out of the gate, number one pick, potentially, is another LSU ace starting pitcher who had a great run in the College World Series, Kate Anderson. He's not Paul Skeens. I think that's the one thing we've got to put out there immediately. I think a lot of collectors, if you're not super familiar with this game or just saw him in the College World Series, I think the thing that – and this is something to his credit, and it's going to be and you don't want to put too much unfair expectations on him, but he's not going to be Paul Skeens, and that's okay. He could still be a number one top-rated pitcher and not have to be Paul Skeens.
I've been thinking, I've been watching him a little bit. Sonny Gray-esque, early Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
Still getting up there, 97, 98. But mixing it up a lot more, kind of using what he's got physique-wise, and, I like Kate Anderson.
Yeah.
So
it's been a journey for him too, because I know he got Tommy John back in high school. He was on that path to become maybe the top pitching prep prospect in the country. Got derailed with the injury. A lefty too, so I saw some scouts kind of likening him to maybe the same journey as a Max Fried, where a guy who kind of overcame a lot of stuff. And has sort of the same abilities on the mound. So that's, the two names you hear right there, Fried and Sonny Gray, those are two really, really good names to be compared to.
Yeah.
They're also two names that I think when it comes
from the left side, right?
Yeah. There are also two names as well that I think when you're talking hobby, you want that electrifying starter. Those are two really good, reliable starters who are still doing it at getting up there, especially in Sonny Gray's case, at an advanced age for a baseball player.
Yep.
But maybe doesn't jump off the page like a Paul Skeens might, where you think you see LSU, you see number one, you see all those things, and your eyes think, here we go. Your brain goes, here we go. We got another one on our hands.
Yeah. So TJ in high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it. There was an NBC article. I think it was last year. 57%. 57 to like 60% of all Tommy John surgeries now occur between people aged 15 and 19.
That is nuts.
It boomed last year.
Yeah.
The science is there. They used to like take a ligament out of your hip and then reattach it to your elbow. Now it's all synthetic, right? It's lasting longer. I think just like the operation itself is probably a lot cleaner as well.
A lot more advanced.
But gosh, man.
Is that at this point, is it almost a preventative surgery rather than a reactive one where, in Major League Baseball, when we see it, it's because someone just blew out their elbow, where it's like the moment you start to see some weakness, maybe they just say, you know what, just get the TJ surgery now.
Yeah.
Just get it now.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about you, but like we weren't throwing curveballs in Little League.
That's the thing.
We were just like, how hard can you throw it? And then throw it a little softer. It was like a fastball was just like a changeup, like a slower fastball.
Right.
And now I feel like they're spinning it at like 8 years old now, and like they're just. But
that is the thing that it feels like for the last 15, now almost 20 years, we've been harping on. Like, feels like youth players are throwing junk early.
Yep.
It feels too early to be doing that. Right, and I remember hearing so many guys who used to veterans and retired players go, maybe don't throw those until like later in high school. Like high school at the earliest is when you should start throwing that stuff, and it's not getting through.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but it's not getting through. And instead, I think they're saying, and maybe it's this, maybe it's the boom in TJ surgeries where they just go, who cares? We're just going to tell them, get the surgery early. It's just a different world now. Where get that surgery. It's fine. It's seen as a very normal, like, standard surgery rather than something that is going to derail your career.
Yeah, exactly 10 years ago, Walker Buehler gets drafted to the Dodgers, and before he even steps foot in LA, they say, you're getting the surgery before you even come play catch for us. So are people trying to prevent that? Like, get it early, preventative.
Right.
I don't like it. The same people that are like, my kid's not playing football. It's like, my kid's not throwing a curveball. Like, no way.
Yeah. It's something to watch here for Kate Anderson. It's something to always keep in the back of your mind. Yeah, right. It's always something to keep in the back of your mind, I think, with him, that, yes, this happened, but at the same time, we just said it, it's just becoming more and more common. Yeah. So the stuff's there. He looked great in the College World Series. Also threw, like, how many pitches did he throw in that final start? Something insane.
Oh, ungodly amount.
Yeah. It was in like the almost 150s.
I thought
like something insane.
I thought it was like 138.
I'll have to look it up, but yeah, something like that.
Maybe in like the eighth inning.
Right. Yeah, I gotta look it up. His pitch count in that final game, like 130 pitches in a complete game.
There we go.
It's so funny how that happens in college. Like only in the College World Series, which I get it. It's the last time they're gonna pitch for like a while. Like they're not. They're gonna pitch again. Maybe if they get drafted, like in August or maybe even longer. Maybe they're like, don't pitch until spring. But it is funny how that happens. Where in Major League Baseball, the moment you even touch 90, it's like, all right, clock's ticking.
Right.
Like where you get out of this game. So, but we could talk pitching sides a little later. In terms of his market, I keep saying it. He's not Paul Skeens. He's not going to be Paul Skeens in this hobby. Maybe he will. Maybe I'm the one who looks like a fool. Because there is a lot of similarity in terms of the journey, where Skeens kind of was like, very impressive, but not a guy that I think we're seeing as a number one guy. We're seeing him as a second, maybe a third rounder, and then boom, that season happens where they win. He looks amazing. He's the face of the draft that year, and he's the biggest name. So could happen again. I do also think with Skeens and his collectability, this is something, I'm not just saying this just so we have a viral clip, but also it doesn't hurt. I think in terms of his collectability, he is such a unicorn because, one, the mix of the stuff. He is undeniably one of the most special pitchers we have seen in a long time.
Right.
But two, there's also the story off the field. One, the leading his team to the College World Series, but he's also dating a huge star. I just think we do need to put that in perspective. Like, I think all of that working together, where
good mustache.
He's good mustache, dating Livy Dunn, who is by all means maybe a bigger star than he is.
For sure.
That might be evening out the way he's pitching. That's might be evening out a little bit. But like, even when he's not at a big event, a big hobby event, like, he's still on the lips of everybody because Livy Dunn's there and buying Paul Skeens cards. And she's got a huge following. She's got millions of followers on TikTok. So that storyline itself does so much does a lot of heavy lifting, I think, for his collectability. Honestly, is his rookie debut card $1 million card if he isn't in this sort of tabloidy relationship?
No.
I don't think it is.
No.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
So Kate Anderson isn't dating someone of Livy Dunn's stature.
Come on,
so
Cade.
keep that in mind when you're collecting his cards.
Yeah. So. Shout out Cade's girlfriend if
right.
If there's a Mrs. Kate Anderson out
love,
there.
Yeah, you love who you. It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the special things in life is to love and be loved, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a huge 3 million follower TikTok star. That it can be anybody. So
yeah, some of us don't want that, Cade. We don't want all that.
Right.
All
exactly.
that glitz and glam out there.
Yeah. Come on. Exactly.
I'm rooting for you, buddy. Let's go.
We're rooting for you, Cade. Absolutely. Other things to note about this class, a couple other pros. Very shortstop heavy.
Yeah.
Very good hobby-wise, if that's the case. Even if these guys don't become a shortstop at the when their major league career takes off, they're probably going to be playing a position up the middle. Then that's always a premium spot if you're collecting.
Yeah, a lot of high school bats, a lot of prep bats. It's
tons of high school.
I think back to like the Bobby Witt, just killing it.
Is that also, I don't know if it's a con for collectors, but you mentioned that. Like, there is a lot of high school. It's very top heavy with high schoolers, specifically high school bats. That's going to be a longer development process for these guys. They're younger. So it's going to take them a little longer probably to get to the major leagues. And sometimes we know this hobby. We know that we don't have sometimes the best patience. I know. I'll speak for myself as well. I know I'm not as patient. It's nice when a guy again, the perfect example is guys like Cruz and Skeens last year where they went from they're in the College World Series, we see them, to a year later they're in the major leagues.
Right.
And I think does a lot of help for their markets. When it takes a long time, it's gonna, it's just that time away not thinking about those guys could potentially hurt them.
Yeah, maybe an unfair comparison, but I'm thinking of like the super young guys that enter a Bowman product. Ethan Salas,
yes,
Christian Vaquero, where it's like they're getting all the hype and they're getting all the prospect because it's like sky's the limit. Get them while it's their first card and stuff. But yeah, it might be like 4 or 5 years till you see them. Marco Luciano was similar to a guy like that where he came up super young and then we're just now seeing him. It's like, man, he's been in the league forever. How old is he? It's like, he's not that old.
Yeah, he's 23, 24.
Yeah.
Right now.
You feel like you've been watching him for 7 years.
Exactly.
Because you have. Bowman-wise, I think, because it's just the prospect of it. And then I think it kind of plateaus a little bit and then kind of,
We were talking about on the hype this week, like, I think a guy, not maybe the best example, but Riley Green was a 2019 guy.
Yep.
In 2019, Bowman. Got called up in 2022.
That's a great example. Yeah.
2022 and doesn't do well out the gate. His market is like still for a guy who's now going on a 2-time All-Star and is easily the focal point of that offense. I think his market's still very low. We got onto it on there, but that's kind of an example of like,
Yep.
It can take a little while, and then when they get there, if it isn't an instant success, they're going to get forgotten pretty quick.
Yep.
And then eventually undervalued pretty quick. In the case of a guy like Green, where he's only 24. Like it can turn around really fast when you're that young. There's still time.
Franchise player.
Yeah, absolutely. Franchise player
Should be a perennial all-star.
100%. 100%. So there's going to be guys like that. Just be patient. You know that if you're collecting Bowman, be patient is the number one thing.
Is there ever? Can we think of a year of Bowman that just doesn't have a guy? I can't.
Oh, like
a guy.
I mean, there's varying degrees of guys here too.
Yeah.
But no, not really. If you're taking it all encompassing, like Bowman Draft, Bowman Chrome, no.
Yeah, and like, don't give me like 23 Bowman.
Yeah,
out
that's
there,
still
the listeners. Don't be like 23 Bowman. It's like no.
Still
like,
early.
Yeah.
There's gonna be somebody.
There are guys.
There's always
There are
somebody.
guys.
There's always somebody. Speaking of guys, I think we could pretty safely say the number one guy in this draft for collectors is going to be another Holliday.
Yep.
Ethan Holliday is probably the consensus number one prospect. Doesn't mean he's going to be the number one pick. This is always the funny part of MLB drafts. If you forget whether year by year or you're so used to the way that every other sport does its draft, where it's like whoever's the number one player gets picked number one. That doesn't happen in baseball because of need, mostly because of money.
Yeah.
So do the Nationals, who, by the way, just an aside, this is why I'm wearing a Nationals hat today, if you're watching it. Their number one again is, I say again, but it's been like 15 years. It's been a little while. But it feels so seared in my mind, them in the number one spot, because Strasburg Harper, back-to-back, is just a generational slam dunk of back-to-back number one picks.
Yep.
Is crazy. So they're there again. Just fired their GM and president of baseball operations, Mike Rizzo, a week before the draft, which is nuts when you have the number one pick. So very interested to see what they end up doing. They kind of need everything right now.
Yeah, Mike Rizzo probably wanted to trade it. Oh, you can't trade.
That's right. Yeah, he probably did.
They're like, you're out to lunch, Mike.
Yeah, it's like, can we just do the Juan Soto deal, but for the number one pick?
Right.
Because that's the only thing that seems to have worked for us in the last few years. But Ethan Holliday's consistent number one. He probably doesn't get picked number one. But it's starting to sound like if he does fall, he's not going to fall any further than 4. And who's sitting at 4 is his dad's former team, the Colorado Rockies.
Is Ethan 1 if the draft is in June? Maybe.
Yeah, I think he is.
Maybe.
I think he is.
Yeah. Back to Colorado. God, do it. I love it.
Yeah.
Ethan Holliday, Charlie Condon, Ezekiel Tovar.
You've got something finally.
Yep. They got to be able to pitch and miss bats, because if they don't miss bats, those balls go 4. Very 4.
Yeah. They need to, this is, again, another aside, but whoever has been in charge of you've had 30 years of data of how the ball plays at Coors Field.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not going out of your way to, one, pitchers have to go there. But like, if you're not going to get the guy who's got 200, 300 strikeouts a season, then go after your ground. Like, who's got the best ground ball rates every year? Just look. All right, who's got best ground ball rates out of all these pitchers?
Yep.
That's who I should be signing.
Right.
Guys who can hit, who don't give up fly balls. Maybe they've been trying it and it's not working. I don't know.
A big purple monster all the way around.
Seriously.
The outfield.
Make it, a 30-foot wall covering foul pole to foul pole at Coors Field. Yeah, then the collective batting average will only be 275, not 280.
There you go.
So it'll be good. But Ethan is going to be such a huge star for collectors, especially if he goes to Colorado. It's the one time where I can actually say, if he goes to Colorado, that is so good for his card market.
Mm-hmm.
Just that story on top, like him being already the brother of a big prospect, the son of a former All-Star, a former guy who got MVP votes, and to do it for his dad's old team, I think would be an actual plus here. Even though it is the Colorado Rockies, which I've always for a while, even with Condon, I'm like,
I'm on the
it's
fence.
the Rockies though. But this is I want to hear why, because I think there's going to be a lot of people who kind of feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, and it, like, I don't want to mean to make it so simple, but just it's the Rockies. Like Condon is like the man. He was the absolute dude in college, right? Home run record, right?
Yep.
Like that's who wins the MVP in the MLB is who has the most home runs.
Yep.
This guy comes out of college with the most home runs, 3rd overall pick. Like, and then Rockies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, as a breaker, it was tough to sell the Charlie Condon spot, the Rocky spot, out the gate. Now, given the storyline for Ethan Holliday, I think that's the best case scenario for a Rocky prospect.
Mm-hmm.
So this should be at the top. Like he should be selling higher than any Rockies prospect we've seen.
Yeah.
But man, do I think like that 3rd, 4th shortstop off the board, maybe he's competing, but maybe that's awesome for collectors too, because they are saying that Ethan is like the better brother,
Right.
So maybe you're able to get him out of steal, out the gate on release day, release weekend. And I don't know. Yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to it because I'm a buyer. I have a lot of his Leaf stuff. We'll get into some of that, Leaf convo later. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see.
He's got to be cover boy, right? He's got the golden flow. I mean, it's like they're going to market
Ethan
him.
is the face of 26 Bowman.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much a slam dunk, especially if Cade Anderson gets picked top guy. Like, regardless of if Ethan's a top 5 pick, which he almost surely will be, because then it's the Nationals, it's the Angels. Can't remember who's in that 3rd spot. I have to double check the actual draft order, but he will not fall any further than that.
Yeah.
It would have been nice, maybe Cardinals, if you're going the connection with the Holidays. Like, it would have been a better team, I think, for a lot of collectors to be like, all right, I can get down with. That familial connection.
Just a year coming off of heavy collecting JJ Weatherhole. It's like you're in the flow of things. You start to think, all right, Cardinals are going to start becoming, the next Orioles. You start, making things up.
Yeah, exactly.
We're collectors,
Is there any, like, because obviously the family names has been a thing now for a while for collectors, that the moment they have a name that's recognizable, we kind of talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Luis Angel Acuna, that was like, it can work towards in the early years, it can really help your market. And then it's really to your detriment if you just don't take off at all. Then you've just tank. And we've seen it with guys like Acuna. With Holliday, is there maybe some trepidation of like, Jackson hasn't quite lived up to those expectations? So am I ready to get in on another Holliday brother, knowing where Jackson is right now? It's not fair to Ethan. I'll just put it that way.
Right.
I'll put that right out there. Not fair to him. He's his own player. He's a different player, and in many regards might be a better player. I think the power is the one thing where they really point to that as like, that's where he has a leg up right now. But there might be some collectors who say, I don't want to strike out twice with the Holliday brothers. And I'm not going to be fooled again. So the top 5 picks actually, it's funny. I'm sure people were already yelling at their wherever YouTube or their apps. It's Nationals, Angels, Mariners, as if the Mariners need more great young prospects.
Yeah,
the Rockies.
We haven't even seen the Mariners guy from this last draft.
So many good.
Durangelo.
I am telling you.
Yeah.
I am telling you.
You've seen firsthand.
That team last year, that was a bunch of grown men in minor league baseball. There was so many good hitters. Like it's funny how much the Mariners complain about, man, we can't hit. It's like, just wait a year.
Yep.
You're gonna hit. Like, they're all there. The Rockies. Number 5 is the St. Louis Cardinals. Ethan Holliday will not fall further than 5th. There's no way.
No.
Because one of those two teams that has the lineage is going to pick him.
The Rockies will.
And the Rockies will.
The Rockies will.
Rockies will. And the fact is, at the end of the day, while we kind of are crapping on the franchise itself and the collectability, like he's gonna, if he is anything close to what he's expected to be, that is such an incredible offensive environment for him, and he will do very, very well. I mean, we saw if you can be like, hey, you got another Nolan Arenado on your hands, you feel pretty good.
Yeah.
That's, at least offensively. And I can't speak for him defensively, but if he can do that offensively, then, well, he should be feeling pretty good about his chances.
Yep.
Yeah. A few more things to mention for this draft class. I'll just throw out a few other notable players that I think should definitely be on your radar. If you are collecting, they almost certainly will be, because these are going to be the biggest names. I think one of the most intriguing names is Seth Hernandez, a high school pitcher who there is kind of like whispers right now that he could be the number 1 pick.
Corona, California,
yes. There's a ton of guys out of Corona, California this year.
8 guys are going to go in the first round.
Just what is going on with SoCal baseball, dude?
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts how much great talent there is every year in, year out, and especially this year. It's nuts. 19 years old, so older for a high school prospect, but considered by scouts to be maybe the best right-handed pitcher in almost over a decade, a prep right-handed pitcher in a decade.
ESPN just did an expose on them a couple nights, or MLB Network maybe, just a couple nights ago.
Oh, I think I saw that, yeah.
Dude, they're getting like transfers. This high school program's getting like transfers from like Northern California, Oregon. It's like,
that's how you got it made.
We grew up, it was like you just got lucky if like a couple kids just grew up, being good at the same age and lived on the same block, and
now they're all playing on the same team.
Now it's just like we're flying them in and stuff. But it's kind of cool. Right. Dino Ebel's kid plays. It's the Dodgers base coach.
Okay.
He plays on the team, and I think they traveled in from somewhere or whatnot. But why not? Right? Give a good opportunity. The coaching staff. This whole expose was really cool, and the Seth Hernandez guy, kind of mostly about him.
Yeah, he's the star attraction. 6'4", 190. Also could be, I believe. I mean, it's high school, so of course there's the two-way possibility. Yep. I think they even projected him if he was going to be a hitter, he'd be like a second or third rounder, which is pretty incredible that we're talking about him as a potential number 1 pick, and also a hitting prospect as well. I think there's a lot of teams that just the risk of taking a guy that young in the top 10, there's a lot of teams that don't like to do that. They just say, no, we have a rule. We're not picking a prep pitcher top 10. Like, we just can't take that big of a risk. It's totally understandable.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy that falls. And then, I mean, they vet him, right? They do their due diligence and stuff. Is that a candidate for a sign, and we're going to take care of your elbow?
The potential here is, it sounds
hopefully he doesn't need it. Not everyone needs it.
If the Angels are, but the Angels don't do this. The Angels don't operate with risk. The Angels, which is, maybe they should, because look at the state of their farm system.
Right.
Sometimes you got to take a risk. They like to operate on like, well, who is the guy who can be on our team next year?
Yep.
Which kind of worked in the last couple of years. But it also, I think, your ceiling is way, way lowered when you do that.
Yep.
So it sounds like that they won't do that. But that seems like the prime place for him to go. It's like, stay close to home. You've probably already been scouting him a lot. Take a risk here, Angels. Do something finally, please. You've just been sitting there being idle.
Yeah, that's the good, local boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let the Mariners get another, because the Mariners aren't going to let him fall.
Oh, my God.
The Mariners are not going to let him fall. Don't let the Mariners get another potential ace.
Right.
Like, good Lord. We don't need a starting 5 in 5 years of Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert,
Kirby.
Seth Hernandez, George Kirby.
And we're forgetting one.
And then
Louis Castillo.
Yeah,
is
who
gonna
knows? He'll be there 5 years, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, don't let that happen with the Mariners. And if that does happen with the Mariners,
they just got Durangelo in the last draft.
Right.
We haven't seen him yet, but
Right.
he's gonna be he's the switch pitcher.
Yeah. Always buy the Mariners.
Right?
Yeah, I believe he is. Always buy the Mariners in Bowman because they're just going to have guys.
Yeah.
The last 5 years has been this incredible run. They're going to have dudes always and forever now is what it feels like.
So a lot of good high school talent. There are some really good college
There are
players,
good
too.
college guys, too. There are good college guys.
Another good Oregon State guy.
Yes, Iva Arquette. Don't know a ton about him, but I mean, I see the number. I see 6'5", 220 shortstop, and I immediately am like, "That's a guy
Yeah.
y'all want on your team." Awesome, like perfect, like huge build, big, above average power, great program. It just checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Feels like a really safe pick.
Yep.
A guy that's going to be very popular, I could imagine, with collectors. Again, you just want a safe guy. That's a great person that's going to be right in that, like, probably one of your top 5 chases for Bowman or Bowman draft, I would imagine.
Probably moves away from shortstop at some point.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably moves away from there. Maybe
Third base.
Yeah. That seems like the probable switch there. For
That
him.
seems like you say probable, like the easy switch. Gosh, is that one of the hardest? That's the hardest position to play.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that it's probable.
Corner,
doesn't mean it's easy.
Right.
But they look at him and the way he's built and go, hey, you're a third baseman.
Right.
That's what they'll just say it to him and go, all right, I guess I'm playing third now. That's where I live now.
Yep.
Texas A&M, I think to me, one of the most intriguing names. It's one of the names that I think a lot of collectors probably knew coming into the season because we heard a lot about him last year. Jace Lavalette. You might be thinking, wait, wasn't he supposed to be number 1? Wasn't this the guy we were all in on? He's fallen to maybe the top 20, maybe lower, but at least he's a top 20 prospect, maybe 20th, 25 prospect.
He's going to be a good grab.
He's going to be such a steal, I think, for a team. It's funny, like he was the consensus number 1 a year ago. He's fallen. 29 homers last year.
Yep.
A huge year. 18 this year, and he only played 12 fewer games. So there was a considerable power drop this year. But to your point, I still think he's maybe the best pure power hitter in this entire draft.
Yep.
He's got I will always trust a guy who's got a few years of college ball, who's played in big games. I think we've seen that the last few years. It's such an undervalued thing to me, is having guys who have played in college at a high level in games that matter are to me, that's really important.
Yeah.
And I think you've seen that in the last few years. Not saying that high school players can't be great players. There's tons of great players who skip college. But if you're looking for like an instant impact guy, that to me is super underrated.
Yeah, I brought up Walker Buehler earlier. In every interview, whether it was, well, for the Dodgers, I guess, but in 20 and 24, in every interview, they ask him, how did you prepare for this moment? What does it mean to you? And, how did you guys get this done? He goes, I did this at Vanderbilt in college.
Yep.
I have been ready for this for 10 years.
Yeah.
12 years.
Yeah.
Like, this is just another game, and that's exactly the temperament you need to get it done. And it's just like, you're a dog. And we see these guys now. Shout out Vandy. Shout out A&M. Shout out OSU. These programs pumping this talent out, and these are the guys that get drafted over a shaky, and I don't want to say shaky, but a kind of a question mark of a prep guy.
Yep. Come
draft night, that's where things don't always go according to plan, and I think he's going to be a top 10 pick.
Top 10.
That's my bold prediction for draft night.
I like
a top 10 pick.
I like him at the top 10 would be very interesting. I'm looking at the top 10 right now. I mean, you've got, if you're going basically outside that top 10, you've got that top 5. Pirates, Marlins, Blue Jays, Reds, White Sox are all in there. Then you got A's, Rangers, Giants, Rays, Red Sox. Man, that would be very interesting.
Ooh, A's would be intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they probably need pitching, but
They need pitching big time.
yeah.
Yeah, they've done such
they
a
need
good job.
pitching.
I know, unfortunately, but you're right because they like this kind of guy.
And they're
who
just
they can
stacking the
plug
hitting,
in.
so it's fun to think, they could just keep going. But
They love a guy that they can plug in almost instantly, which
Yeah.
they've done with Kurtz Wilson the last couple of years.
Yep.
Lawrence Butler make a really fast rise through their system as well.
Yep.
Man, I would love it if he were to crack the top 10. As I think too, regardless of he's a top 10 or a top 25, I think the collectors are still going to be really into him.
Yeah.
And are going to invest pretty heavily in him because again, it's a guy that you said it at the top of the show. Guys who can hit 45 home runs. Those are the guys who win MVPs.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah. 23 Bowman draft, right out the gate, Colin Houck, Matt Shaw, late first round picks, like after the 20s, I think maybe even comp A.
Maybe supplemental
for Houck. And they were right out the gate going crazy.
Yeah.
In the hobby. I obviously Matt Shaw has come to fruition, for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know about Houck, but
Houck hasn't really, Houck has kind of fallen off a little bit, but yeah, you're right. Shaw has had a really nice, is starting to really put it together. Hey, Giants, 13 pick, Jack Levelette. Why not? You need hitting.
Do it.
I'm honestly.
Yes. I'd love to go see him play. Yeah.
You know what? It's
Do it.
actually, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Giants fan, but now I'm starting to put two and two together. That's such a Buster Posey move. Of like
a seasoned college guy, probably super respectful,
has proven stats. It's just like because it's kind of easy in a way.
Yeah.
Like there's no pick that's easy in the draft, but that feels like, you know what? Let's just take a shot. Like that's the floor is not that is pretty high.
There isn't an FSU catcher on the board, is there?
There is not.
Oh,
the best catcher on the board will probably go top 10. Ike Irish, I believe, will probably be a top 10 pick.
He's a dog.
Yeah. So if you had to rank, give me your top 3 collectible guy, the guys that you think the hobby is going to be the most excited to collect. Top 3 out of this year's draft class.
Yeah. So it's gonna be Ethan, number 1.
Yep.
A guy that we didn't get to, Eli Willits.
Yeah.
Another prep shortstop.
Played alongside, didn't play on the same team, but
right.
Competed against Ethan Holliday in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I think he's going to be kind of grouped in that. I think he's already being grouped in a lot of like stories and stuff like that. And then Seth Hernandez. He had the expose there on MLB Network.
Yeah, he's getting the pub.
Southern California. There could be that market between Angels, local boy.
That would
the way they promote their guys, even though he is a high school guy.
Yeah.
They've been promoting guys that with a little more track record.
They've definitely been more aggressive.
Yeah, and he's a dog, dude.
Yeah,
I've seen very little, but I saw they were showing him on the expose and pitch and stuff.
Yeah,
this guy's motion and release looks pro.
Super polished already. He's already a 4-pitch pitcher.
And like we said, the best player in the draft is not going to be the most collected.
No,
he's just not.
It usually isn't.
Yeah.
I like that.
My outlier pick is Willits. It might take a week for him to take off.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
And it really depends on where these guys get drafted.
And I think, too, the Holliday connection really helps.
If Willits becomes a Marlin, he's not
going to happen. If he becomes
if any of these guys become Marlins,
they're done. Just end it right there.
Yeah.
But if you like Willits, it's like a Blue Jay. That's
like an Arjun.
Right, exactly.
Another prep shortstop.
I could see that. Pirates, potentially. I know the history with Pirates hitters has not been great.
Yeah,
the last few years.
York, Mitch Jebb.
Yeah,
never really took off.
Never.
But they're good. They're good guys.
Yeah,
Mitch Jebb is really good.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of names there that have not quite worked out. So maybe that's gonna affect.
Yeah. How about you? You got some wild cards?
Not really. I'm kind of going chalk. I think Jace is gonna be really high. I think people are gonna see the name, see the and the power. Like we have seen guys, but like we've seen collectors go after guys that you wouldn't expect. I think of Blaze Alexander a few years back. Where is Blaze Alexander nowadays? I gotta look it up.
I just pulled a 1-of-1 printing plate out of Inception of Blaze Alexander.
There you go, boy.
And I felt bad I had to turn the printing plate around to see who it was. You know?
Yeah. A guy like him, or was it Blaze? Or no, I'm thinking of.
Oh, sorry, Blaze.
No, sorry, Blaze. Sorry to Blaze. Shout out to Blaze. I actually kind of liked Blaze. Who was the Red Sox guy? I'm not thinking, but it was also Blaze. It was Blaze something.
Oh, Blaze Jordan.
Blaze Jordan.
Oh.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Fizzle Jordan.
Blaze Jordan is exactly who I'm thinking of. Not sorry to Blaze Alexander. He was actually a major leaguer and is doing fine.
Yeah, caught a
But that was
strays there.
But that was a guy where we're like, sorry for catching a stray. But that was a guy where like, oh, high school home run derby. He like had a showing at the All-Star game.
Dude, he was like the Zion of baseball.
He
came up with Twitter clips and
yes,
Chase Petty, another guy, but I think Petty's actually doing something right now in the red system. But like, came up all the hype. Maybe again, unfair to him.
He's doing okay. I'm looking at the numbers right now in Double A and Triple A.
Oh, you said AAA.
He's in AAA. 30 games in AAA, 784 OPS, 4 homers, 273 batting average, 313 on base.
All right, we got to delete this part.
But it's also taken him a long. Like he's in AAA right now.
What was his first Bowman? Was it 21?
It was 21.
21 first?
21
draft?
But for a guy who was a third rounder, now 2020 draft was a little different because there were only like 4 or 5 rounds, right? There was not that many rounds. But a guy that I remember like not hearing anything about in draft lead up, not on any top prospect board, and then collectors are going nuts for him. Like he's the number 1 prospect out of some of these products. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But you're right. It was all of these hype videos. He did his marketing team did an amazing job of marketing him. But my point being, all that was a guy who could hit bombs, and and that alone got him a huge following in this hobby for a year or two. To me, Jace is that next guy, and this time there's real college success to be attached to it. I think that's a great formula for success here. I'm gonna throw Ethan number 1. I'll put Jace number 2, and I think I am going to go Kate Anderson number 3, just because I think he's going number 1, and I think that holds a ton of weight, at least for the first few months of collecting.
For sure, yeah.
The LSU connection, his performance in the World Series, I think are all going to really help his market early on. I don't think that market sustains, but I think that is at least something where if you're going to collect wherever it might be, the Nationals, I don't think the Nationals are going to be. Nationals will be one of the top price teams. I don't think they're going to be the top price team.
Right.
So, but you can hang your hat on. I think Cade's market will do pretty well, at least in the first 6 months.
True. Yeah. Last year, you can get Chase Burns in the Reds for maybe a little less than some guys that were some hitters that were later in the round, first round. So.
And you can see Chase Burns has now made that leap to the major leagues. Look, we've seen,
so cool,
we talked about it in our first episode that there are pitching success stories right now in this hobby that are not just Paul Skeens. So who knows? Could happen. He could be on the fast track. He probably will be on the fast track to the major leagues. Let's move on from the draft to where these guys are going to eventually play in the minor leagues. There is last week we teased it. Leaf is going to have an MILB Players Association partnership. They just announced it to produce autographed MILB player cards. The deal is going to give Leaf the rights to produce cards of any MILB player. That also includes, this is kind of the big catch here of why this is a bigger deal, is it's also going to include players who have exclusive deals with Topps. That includes Jack Caglione. So they can have Jack Caglione cards. It's going to be 2024. Leaf Trinity will be the first time that stuff is featured. So they will be able to use him, Roman Anthony, some of the top prospects. Also, They did tease that they might do some NIL deals with Jace LaViolette, Ivar Arquette, a couple other guys as well. So the other part too to keep in mind, I think we got a little excited last week. I know I did. Where it was like, cool, we might get like officially licensed, great looking MILB logo cards. They will not have logos. So Pro Debut is still your spot if you want.
Yep.
Your trash panda cards. I'm trying to. I just
The
tried
trash
to think
pandas.
of trash pandas. I had to think of another MILB.
Are the Nashville Sounds, is that still a thing?
I believe the sounds are still a thing. Believe the Nashville Sounds still. Actually, don't know. Yeah, they're still a thing. They're still a thing.
Nashville Sounds, yeah.
I don't know who their affiliate is anymore. It's the Brewers affiliate now. They used to be for years the A's affiliate.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of people are getting MILB's getting creative with these names. The Biloxi Shuckers, that was the one. I'm sure you might have seen that go viral.
Oh.
Yeah. Now you know. I would post a picture of it, but then we would have to put
It's a family show.
Yeah, this is a family show. Yeah, we can't be doing that. But yeah, it's a cool deal still that we're gonna have like I think premium MILB autos that won't break the bank like a Bowman maybe. If you're like, Bowman's a little too rich for my blood at this point. Something like a Leaf Trinity should help you to, it's still going to be officially licensed where you're going to get all the biggest names. And I think, frankly, when Leaf does a product really well, when Leaf puts all of its cards, everything into a product, I think they are capable of making actually some of the really good-looking cards. Trinity, is it Trinity that has some of those really big patch autos?
Like
I think
huge.
Consistently some of my favorite looking cards. I think they're very underrated.
Yeah, I'm a Leaf buyer. I'm like, I don't know. I want to say like I'm in the minority, but I think there are a lot of us that actually are and just don't always publicize it.
That's
it's a fun, like, I'm not quoting a price here on the new Trinity coming out, but like historically it's been like a fun like $100 to $200 buy-in.
Yep.
It gives you multiple autographs, and it has like, and I think I don't know if all of their products are, but I know some of them are. It has like that hand-packed feel.
Yes.
So
absolutely does.
You kind of like, it's kind of like a low stress rip where you know you're going to get someone that you've heard of at least, maybe a couple guys, and then they always find a way, at least over the last handful of years, to hold on to like a huge name, and so you have that prospect. I was hitting some Leaf stuff last year, and now I'm sitting on Ethan Holliday stuff. So I'm stoked for draft to come out. To kind of boost that just for for the hobby and collecting side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's going to be guys. I'm looking right now at some of the mock-ups. You're going to still have like all these big minor league players. Bobby Witt, the man loves the hobby.
He loves the hobby.
Of course, he's got autos in here, but Bo Jackson's in here as well. There's some cool celebrity autos they threw in there.
Yeah.
That baseball fans will like from like Bull Durham, stuff like that.
Yeah, Leafs done a good job of holding on to guys. Bobby, Evan Carter, Yoshida has stuff in all the Leaf stuff.
Yep.
I think more and more guys too.
Yeah.
Skeens?
It might be.
Why do I feel like he's always there's a cutoff at some point, right, for these guys?
There's a cutoff, yeah. So Skeens would not technically be in this one.
Well,
because he's 2024. He would have started the year in the minors. So technically,
I have no idea, man.
Yeah, no, we'd have to figure out exactly how that works. But I think so. We'll see.
I got a lot of Leaf Vivid too. Leaf Vivid, really good product.
Yeah. Look, for the price point, right now I'm seeing it listed on some sites at about $150, $160 for this product.
To get a Cags auto?
Yeah.
I'll scoop a box.
Absolutely. It's always been an underrated rip. I know when I was doing breaks and doing personal boxes, anytime I posted new Leaf Trinity for personals, gone. It would always sell out.
Yep.
It would always sell out the night I would rip. Because it's just, it's good bang for your buck.
Yeah.
It's fun that there's a product now to chase MILB names without it being Bowman, if Bowman is too rich for your blood, or you're like, I'm just a Bowman singles guy, but I still want to have the chase of some of these names. There you go. Now we're going to have that more consistently with some Leaf products. So sweet. I think it's a good thing. It's just a thumbs up.
Yeah,
that Leaf is doing this. We need more. It's good to have the competition. It's good to have the variety.
So the competition, can we get a? Probably not. But can we get a more? I don't want to say more affordable, but a lesser cost on a premium patch from Topps, something licensed and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
Is Trinity,
this is our closest thing.
Is Trinity like the Inception? These big old chunky patches, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, sometimes I kind of like the cardstock, the feel of the Trinity over Inception. The Inception has the license.
Yeah.
So it will always have a leg up there.
And I'll always say and give props to the unlicensed product out there. They know what they're up against. And I think that they do always go above and beyond. More often than not, go above and beyond in the card quality.
I agree.
So,
I totally agree.
I love it.
Yeah. Let's wrap things up with the taxi squad. Who's getting called up? Who's getting sent down? Who's going on the bench? Buy, sell, or hold. That's how we end every show. 3 guys. It's All-Star edition. The full All-Star rosters have been announced. And actually, as we're even recording, they're probably going to be more announcements of guys who are taking spots. In fact, one of the guys we're going to talk about is a late addition to the All-Star game that I think is an interesting name. Let's start off. These are guys, too, that I think either had some juice in the hobby and maybe it faded away, have always, or maybe have been on the periphery and we're like, should we invest in this guy? So let's just get right into it. Going back-to-back Astros just by chance to start things off. Did not think it was going to shake out that way, but I think that Jeremy Pena is an interesting case.
Yeah.
First-time All-Star this year, came into the hobby with a lot of steam. In fact, his journey's kind of interesting because his first Bowman's
2020.
Yeah, we're 2020.
Bowman.
Very much a forgotten name.
Right.
Like Astros were cheap in those breaks.
Yeah.
They were not expensive to get. Forgotten guy. I remember hitting a few of his autos. Probably as his name came up in the major leagues, went, oh yeah, I hit a few of those autos.
Yeah.
All right. And has a great rookie season.
The only rookie position player in MLB history to win the World Series MVP.
Yeah. And that's when his market kind of exploded, where it was like he had a good year, 22 homers as a rookie, won the Gold Glove, was a top 5 in Rookie of the Year voting. Obviously, the Astros, all the success, but then he wins World Series and World Series MVP. And this, to me, is you want to look at the way his market has gone over the last few years. Here's a pretty good indicator of it. Here is a 2020 Bowman Chrome Sapphire Purple PSA 10 auto sold on April 17th of this year for $335. It sold right after the World Series for $6,500 to $6,900.
Oh my gosh!
I hope you got out on this card.
Hopefully,
the getting was good.
You traded Pena.
Oh my! He is not quite. He did not have quite the follow up after that. Pretty crazy. The roller coaster that his market has been. Again, you could have gotten him for pennies on the dollar early on. That happens.
Yep.
Great time to sell. And you think, too, it's also he's primed to be a multi-time All-Star. You think this is it. We've found him. The Astros have this prospect star that we can collect. This year he's having a breakout year. He's 27, though. And you could make the argument that the time to fully break out into like hobby superstar has kind of passed him, but 27 years old. He's batting .322. He's hurt right now. He's not going to play in the All-Star game. He's hurt. But has consistently been one of the best defensive shortstops in the game since getting called up. 11 home runs. He's on pace for probably a career high if he can get back on the field right at the All-Star as the All-Star break ends. 15 stolen bases. He's probably on pace for 2020, 25 season. I don't know.
Career high homers, 18.
Career high's 22 in his rookie year.
Oof, good luck, dude.
He's never reached that since.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, we'll see. He's at 11 right now, so maybe he gets 20 if he has a good second.
Yeah, he's a 22 to 26 homer guy in a full season.
Yeah.
Yeah. 322 though. I didn't realize that. That's impressive. Yeah, get well soon.
Yeah. I hope he gets back on the field. I don't know if I am. I mean, if that card that we
Hold.
just showed, yeah, it feels like a hold because there was a time where people really liked investing in this guy, despite the Astros
Yeah, they're gonna.
stink and all that.
Well, I mean, they're gonna win the division again, probably.
They almost certainly will.
So if he's in the playoffs, even every other year for the rest of his career, you know,
He's just the face
Hold.
you're going to see all the
yeah,
time.
I'd hold it.
Yeah, because what if he has another
'Cause
huge postseason?
if they do anything, he's gonna have to. In which case, you're gonna be happy you got that card. Or I don't want to know. I'm not gonna say buy right now at $400, but
No, not that card. But I mean, if you can, I mean, I'm trying to see what is just base first Bowmans are going for right now, which I'm sure are on the much lower end at this moment. Yeah, there's an Atomic that just sold for
I mean,
$450.
does an all-star selection kind of inflate?
That's also going to
a little
inflate it
bit?
a little bit. I mean, this is this is from May. An Atomic Raw sold for $140. So again, his stuff's probably going to be inflated just a tad right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a pretty safe hold at the moment, especially if you bought him high, it's probably never going to get to that point ever again unless he somehow rattles off an MVP or two, which don't see that happening. But he's an interesting case.
Mm-hmm.
Also was timed with a time where this the market was crazy for everything.
Yeah,
So I think he's also a beneficiary. His market was
that's a good call.
a reflection of that
Yep.
as well. Let's go to a teammate of his where I'm going to go to bat hard for this guy. Isaac Paredes, who I was super high on him going into the season simply because he is the most he's the biggest pull hitter in baseball.
His swing is insane.
Nobody
dude.
pulls the ball more than Isaac Paredes.
Yeah.
And he's a righty. He hits for power. And I went Crawford boxes, and I just salivated at the chance of I'm swooping him in every fantasy draft. This guy's gonna hit 50 bombs, and 30 of them would be home runs in only Houston.
Yeah, right off the Chick-fil-A foul pole.
Yeah, I was so certain of it. That hasn't quite happened, but 19 homers at the break is a good number.
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy in Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, small market. No one's talking about Tampa Bay baseball. He was really good in Tampa.
31 bombs in 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't blame you for thinking that. I play a lot of fantasy baseball, total points league. He's always been super fantasy relevant. So yeah, cool to see him. You know, they're winning a lot of games. What's his WAR? Can we check on his WAR?
His WAR is 2.5 right now. He's not the best defensive player, so that probably doesn't. But I mean, just offense alone.
Is he playing third base?
He's mostly playing third, although he's played a lot of first. He's playing a lot, but they put Christian Walker there too, so I think he's mostly third at this point.
Got you.
But I mean, good on base, 357, 468 slugging, 826 OPS, 19 homers so far this season. He's on pace for potentially a 30 home run season. He's not potentially, but he's on pace for a 30 home run season. It'll be his second of his career. Let me just put these numbers out there. This is where some people might be like, all right, slow down, buddy. All right. His career in his first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, 5.5 seasons so far. 91 homers, 283 RBIs, 236 batting average, 337 on base, 430 slugging, 768 OPS. Okay.
Who are you about to compare him to here?
Let's go to another guy. This is from 1998 to 2003. His first 6 full seasons, so a little more time. 99 home runs, 389 RBIs, higher on batting average, admittedly, 262, lower on base, 320, 428 slugging, 748 OPS. Those numbers are for Adrian Beltre in his first 6 years of his career. Isak Paredes is 26. He's not that old. It
Yeah.
feels like he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, and Beltre was maybe.
This is
I don't know. I'm
literally
not trying to cause any controversy here, but I think the story is Beltre was a little older than
right.
he was given credit
There
for.
was some scuttle and all that, but
So
yeah,
that might
at the end of it,
age-wise, that might also be a really good comparison too.
right? This is the year before he hits 48 home runs and then establishes himself as an all-star player. Isak Paredes, 26.
Not with that swing.
I'm not
Although
gonna say
Beltre
he's
had
doing
had
that.
the swing, a very unique swing too. But
Right. You're right. Look, I thought I kind of looked it up to be like, I wonder.
yeah, but Beltre was Beltre had the hype coming up.
Yeah, the
too,
hype
though.
coming up. He also was defensive. He also always was an amazing defensive player that you could always lean on where you're like, well, he's slumping, but hey, you can't take him out of the lineup. His glove's too good. So there's that. I will admit, but I did find those offensive numbers pretty interesting. I thought that was an interesting comparison.
I'm not ready to entertain that. However, that's something like you're scrolling through Instagram and you see that and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody, that's
like,
a post you can put up where you do those
you put
comparisons
it on your
of the
story,
baseball. Yeah.
and you let your
And you're
your
like,
friends just like
and you
eat
just
you
say,
alive.
discuss. Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to do. I'm just throwing meat to the kennel.
Some
right
men
there.
just want to watch the world burn.
Some men just want to compare Isak Paredes to Adrian Beltre. His Superfractor non-auto first Bowman PSA 9 sold for $625 in May for a non-auto
Buy.
Superfractor. I'm a buyer on Isak. I'm a speculative buyer
Because
on
if he
Isak.
goes 3-4 seasons in a row with 30 jacks,
right,
he enters a different
he's
conversation.
in such a good ballpark for it too. I am saying, like, if he just does what he's been doing the last few years, he is a shoe-in for 30 home runs a year for like the next 4 years because he's going to play in Houston for a while. I say why the hell not? Just throw another one at you. Literally on July 3rd. This is a $80 PSA 10 number to 499 first Bowman auto of Isak Paredes.
That's a better buy than the super.
Yeah, or excuse me, that's a prospect auto. But regardless, it's a prospect auto.
Does he have a first?
He does have a first.
Okay.
Yeah, that one we saw earlier. This
Oh,
is,
true. That was
via
the
Carl
first.
Letter. That's his first right there. 2018. So there you go. He's been on the minds of collectors for a while, which is probably why when he did finally get called up,
18,
it wasn't super. It was just kind of like, all right, well. And he also got traded from Detroit to Tampa as like kind of a throw-in, and that ended up being the best part of that deal for the Rays. He's also bounced around so much, but it's because he has value. Like
Right.
teams look at him like, man, he's like 24, 25. He can play first and third. He's got power. Yeah, that's a valuable guy.
Yeah, like journeyman is like I feel like one of the more respectful titles you can have in the major leagues.
Yeah. So I'm a speculative buyer on Isak.
Sweet.
I'm an Isak guy.
That's a harmless take right there.
Harmless take.
Yeah.
Isak for the Beltre one was a little spicy.
I'm gonna omit that from the whole Isak Paredes spiel. All right.
Last one. Again, I'm kind of going. You can see the last two guys. My theme here is dingers. Kyle Schwarber is a guy that was super duper hyped straight out of the gate with the Chicago Cubs. Catcher at originally, I believe first was also in the Bowman draft. Was in the Bowman class of Chris Bryant. So it was this legendary Cubs run in Bowman.
Yep.
So there was a lot of hype just around him because of the inflation of just Chris Bryant being paired up with him in that class.
15 draft.
15, I believe so. 14 or 15, yeah, something like that. I mean, he's up in the majors in 2015 at 22 years old. 16 homers. Remember that right out of the gate, where it was just like, whoa.
Oh, they weren't the same draft class.
No, they were not the same
That's
draft
right.
class, but I believe
That's
they're
right.
the same Bowman. Again, folks, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure they're first Bowman designs.
There was like a little less attention to the detail in those previous
There
Bowmans.
was. That was also the year where it was like, actually, that's not Chris Bryant's first Bowman, which that's also a whole
Right.
other argument,
Yeah.
a whole other conversation. But Kyle Schwarber's an all-star once again. I bring him up because I don't think anybody sees, like, it's the path his career has taken has been really interesting. He for a minute there maybe seemed like, oh, he's a little bit of a disappointment. I think the lowest point is that the shortened season in 2020 when he hits under 200. Again, not fair because there was only 60 games. So if he got a full season, I bet it would have come around to be his career averages.
Right.
But yeah, you look at now the entirety of a 11-year career, where now 29 home runs in 93 games with the Phillies. Maybe in the middle of his best season right now. I said it the other day when I was at the San Jose Giants game where we're looking at all the All-Star announcements. And I said, yeah, Schwarber's hitting 253, which is basically like him hitting 340. Like, that's good. Yeah. That's really good for him because he's not the kind of guy who's going to get you a high batting average. Even he hit a career high 47 home runs 2 years ago. He batted 197. So I don't know. So what I'm trying to get to here, I don't know if I'm full on in the could Kyle Schwarber be a low key Hall of Famer in a few years? Because I think that the batting average is just so low. It's going to be tough. It's going to be an uphill climb. But 11 years in, he's at 313 home runs. He has 720 RBIs. He has 720 walks. He's going to easily eclipse 1,000 walks, which I think there's only 6 players currently.
Yeah.
5 players who have that number actively in baseball.
Adam Dunn.
Yeah, he's
Dunn.
like a
He has more homers than Adam Dunn.
He's
right?
a better Adam Dunn. I bet Adam Dunn has more home runs, but he kind of is that where it's like, what would Adam Dunn have been if the National League adopted the DH earlier? Would he have just been Kyle Schwarber? Would he have become Kyle Schwarber?
450 for Adam Dunn?
462. Dude could rake. Dude could absolutely rake and also hit 159 in a season. Yikes.
What was his career average?
237. That's nuts.
Okay, so not far off.
232 for Schwarber.
Okay.
I mean, he's Adam Dunn. He's Adam Dunn.
Because it's not like you can just snap your fingers and Schwarber has another 150 homers.
No.
Right?
And frankly,
if he went 5 straight seasons of 30 homer ball, you'd be like, this guy's a god.
Let's put it this way: basically where Schwarber is now in his career, looking at where Dunn was, 2001 to 2012 is when we're about the same. We're about the same right there.
Yeah.
406 home runs at that point. His batting average is a little higher, 240, 370 on base, 870 OPS overall, 499 career slugging.
Like fine wine, baby.
Yep.
Adam Dunn.
And then 2013, boom, the fall off happens.
Oof.
Yeah. So even before then, though, 2011 is when the fall off really happened. It's just that 2012 he kind of put together a good looking Adam Dunn season one more time and then fell off again. But you're right. There's a fine line. It's probably why maybe Philly is going to be hesitant to give him a big contract this offseason.
You can't.
Yeah. But he's going to get paid by somebody.
So
where his cards are.
Yeah.
That's the.
He's going to be a short deal, like not a lot of years, a lot of AAV.
Here's a BG. This one's interesting. This is an interesting sale from May 20th. BGS 10 purple. There it is. BGS 10 purple, 9 out of 10 out of 14 chrome. 2250 sold on May 20th for Kyle Schwarber. There's an orange, same one. PSA 10 that time, 1400 for Schwarber. This is about where his market is. On the high end, it's going to be in that 2 to 3, maybe 4K range. But it's nothing like you can kind of see right here where we're at with the sales of Refractor.
That's pretty good.
Yep. For a guy who is at those numbers, who you say projection wise, maybe if he gets, because I bet he gets a 3 or 4 year deal this offseason.
How old?
He's 32. But again, the math is so different because now there's 30 DH spots rather than just 15.
I would say 3-year club option after the second year.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that style of play is going to be overly rewarded with all of like the big contracts getting thrown out to young guys.
Yeah. I think though to note, I mean, if you're just looking at his percentage stats, It's probably the best year he's ever had right now. And he's doing it at 32.
So, is this like contract year?
It's contract year for sure.
Awesome.
I think he likes Philly, too.
They love him.
I don't think he goes anywhere but Philly.
Yeah, they love him.
Yeah. And I think Philly's the only place, too, that says, fine, we'll give you 4 years. We'll just make you our everyday DH for the next 4 years. Do they want to do that and also have Harper, Turner? I think Castellanos might be a free agent. But do they want to have all of these big inflated contracts for guys on the wrong side of 30? I don't know. That's a little tough.
Yeah, Wheeler Stott.
Wheeler, exactly. There's that too. I don't know. Should you buy on his cards? That's another one where I'm like, I don't think I would.
Let Philly and any residual Cubs fans duke that one out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Anyone who's still reveling 9 years later in 2016 magic, let them have fun with that. I think it's a potential hold and sell in a few years.
If he puts it together. Yeah.
That's more the thing where I'm like, it's kind of on my radar now where it's like, it's time to start paying attention to the career numbers here of Kyle Schwarber. Don't think he's a full-on Hall of Famer. You're right.
Philly can win another one or two.
Yeah.
You got to imagine Harper has one.
He's got to get one. He's got.
Who's going to do it with him? This team.
Could be Schwarber. It has to be the Phillies.
Yeah. Well, like this core.
This core. I mean, yeah, it's got to be. It has to be this core.
Yeah.
They've built this core so that it's them. It's funny watching them in person this week and just talking on the field. You're like watching them in person, looking at that lineup, going, man, scary lineup. But then you like look at the numbers, and it's really the top 4: Schwarber, Turner, Harper. You are really it's the top 3. But then the moment you drop down, maybe I'll throw JT in there. Those guys kind of scare you at the plate.
Yeah.
They'll give you a fight minimum. And then it's like their names, Bohm, doesn't really for power. Castellanos has really fallen off. They're all names. Stott is fine. Like they're all names, but they
Rojas in the outfield.
They're not as scary in person as they seem from afar. That's what I'll say about the Philadelphia Phillies. Sorry, Phillies, don't come after me.
You don't want to run into them in a postseason series where you're going to get, Wheeler, Nola, Christopher Sanchez.
I say this,
Ranger Suarez.
The Giants avoided Zach Wheeler this week.
Yeah,
they did not avoid Christopher Sanchez, who is filthy.
Yeah,
he's good. So, don't come after me, Philly fans. I'm sorry. It's took 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. One of them was complete luck. So, just throw that out there too. So, so let us know. Are you in on any of these guys? Are you still holding on to those first Bowman Kyle Schwarbers? I want to know. Yeah. What was I'm curious. I didn't see what the peak of those cards were, but I can't actually imagine that the peak of them was super duper high. Because of the timing of, when they probably sold in this hobby. Yeah, it actually wasn't. That's actually true. Somebody lost on that purple one that we just showed off within the last month. I'm trying to see if I can find one like real quick before we say goodbye of like, was there any that jumped up? Well, the orange actually jumped up from January to now. So I bet that still represents like a pretty good place 10 years in with Kyle Schwarber cards to be some of those prices.
Yeah, I want to give out a shout out to the Vegas, Sacramento, Oakland A's, Brent Rooker in the home run derby.
He's in the home run derby.
Yep.
Love it. Good derby.
I want to
low key, not even low key. It's a good derby,
dude.
List
do you have a sleeper pick?
Honestly, Rooker is kind of a sleeper pick, but
I got O'Neal Cruz.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
O'Neal Cruz.
Good call. O'Neal Cruz is going to put on a show.
Who are you going to say?
I was going to say Buxton. I just like that Buxton is there. He's playing in his home state.
Yeah.
It's a great story. Like, he's had to go through so many, like, every year where you're like, this is it. This is the Byron Buxton breakout year. And he gets hurt, but he's, like, just putting together a quietly great season right now. It's good to see.
Target Field? What do we call it now?
What, where they're playing in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Target Field.
Yeah. I never know anymore.
Yeah.
I turn on a game. It's like, welcome to like Chuck E. Cheese Stadium. It's like, damn, like Chuck E. Cheese got funding.
Dude, if only Chuck E. Cheese had a stadium.
Is that kind of a difficult park to hit in?
I feel feel like it
middle
is.
of the.
I
I
don't
don't
need to see the metrics, but
middle
like
of
that
the pack maybe.
that right field seems insane to hit home runs
Right.
at because the wall is so high.
Right.
But it does have that it does have that porch.
Yes.
So even center field, I don't know. I need to look. It feels like it's hard.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the metrics and kind of having a whole weekend there and
Yeah.
seeing that. So
It'll be fun. It's gonna be in Atlanta for the All-Star game. So it should be fun. Excited to see it. Bubba, thanks as always.
hot
Appreciate it.
Atlanta. It's gonna be hot.
Enjoy the draft. We'll talk maybe more about the results next week, a little bit about that. And it's going to be All-Star break. So we're going to get into the second half, have some
go.
discussion. And Topps Chrome is just around the corner as well.
July 23rd. Mark your
Very-
calendars.
Very, very close. We'll probably get into a little bit of that.
Yeah, we'll do a little preview.
Yeah, as well next week. All right. Well, that's it for Wax Packs and Warning Tracks. Again, thanks for listening. If you're listening to us, if you're watching us, subscribe to the podcast, The Hype every Tuesday, here, Wax Packs and Warning Tracks every Friday. If you're listening to us, go and subscribe over to our YouTube channel, Mojobreak Media. We got box breaks, we got podcasts, all that good stuff. For Bubba, I'm Cody. We'll see you next time on Wax Packs and Warning Tracks.
Later.